Welcome to Pulse of Culture. I'm Karolina Shapland. We're just over a month away from the Oscars, but the nominations were announced on January 23rd. What better time to gaze into our Pulse of Culture crystal ball and make predictions about who will win the coveted golden statue. Joining us in the studio is renowned Polish film critic Ola Sawa. Ola, thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
So, Ola, you're not just a renowned Polish film critic, but you're also a part of sort of industry head at the Gdynia Film Festival. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. My position is called Head of Industry at a Polish Film Festival, which means that I not only look at cinema as a work of art, but also as a business.
As a business. So you really ideally placed to tell us the fact that there isn't a Polish film, and what is a Polish film at this year's Oscars nomination? Is there a film that we could claim as our own?
I'm sorry, but when you said there is no Polish film,
yeah, what is a Polish film? Yeah.
It's exactly the discussion we've been having for years in our industry, because now when we talk about artistic films, it's very difficult to raise a budget. So a lot of really artistically accomplished films are co-productions between different countries, and we have beautiful example of such co-productions among the Oscar hopefuls, Flow, and also
The Girl with the Needle, of course.
The Girl with the Needle, and Personal War, and also a lot of other films. That
So we can't look at the Polish film, which was entirely shot, directed, acted in Poland, but we have a lot of co-productions and many movies
which are pain.
And yes, many movies which one way or the other are linked with our region. Well, let's start with, well, my personal favorite, the animated movie that I know that you're a big fan of.
Yes, Flow, which had its world premiere in Certain Regard, which is a very prestigious section in Cannes Film Festival. It was a first Latvian film to compete for years, and there's not a lot of animated films that can compete with either documentaries or live-action films. And Flow, directed by Gdynia. I'm so sorry.
Oh, well done.
These names are very difficult to pronounce, and I'm so sorry. This is
not a problem. But Flow is, in your opinion, is it a movie directed towards children or the adults, or is it one of them?
No, I think it's a film that everybody can enjoy and should watch. It's actually not very artistically, I would say, elaborated film. It was made actually by an open source or open license program or an app. But it's a beautiful story about coming out of a tragedy or a catastrophe, if you like, and forming your own tribe. And the cat, nameless cat. Yeah. Among film critics, we sometimes refer to her as Flo, because personally I believe it's a she-cat, a female feline. How to form a tribe from different animals. It could be read as a metaphor of a global crisis when we are trying to find communities among different national groups, and where division is something that is lethal and is more dangerous, and it's much more difficult to survive a catastrophe.
So, Ola, would you say, on one hand, the film is very topical, appeals to all age groups. On the other hand, visually, it's not exactly groundbreaking. The animation is
if you compare it to Pixar works or DreamWorks or some
Studio Ghibli,
or even the Studio Ghibli, but it's, well, that's the thing. That's the magic of the cinema. You don't need to have a visually stunning art form to make an appealing story. You don't have to have a lot of money to invest. You have to have a story to tell. That's the thing.
So the story is there. So you saying, if you're gazing to that crystal ball, maybe a potential. But what about the film that we kind of acclaim this year as our own, which is The Real Pain? How you assess the Real Pain's chances for an Oscar?
Oh, they are probably bigger than expected because it was one of the surprises that it got 2 nominations. I mean, it was among the contenders. I'm not saying it was impossible for the film to be nominated, and some people were kind of expecting even to get a Best Film nomination. It's a film that appeals to a very universal topic, just like Flow. It's about the heritage and finding your roots in a foreign country. And as we know, United States is a land that has a lot of history rooted in Europe, and Jesse Eisenberg is just brilliant as both writer, director, and the star of this film, and Kieran Culkin, who was nominated.
Yeah, that's a stunning performance.
Yes.
However, if I were to play devil's advocate, a lot has been made of this film's Polish roots, and obviously the plot is about an American trying to reclaim Polish Jewish roots. However, other critics say that the film really is more about American neurosis. Poland is just a backdrop. It could be a neurotic Americans in any other European country. How much of this movie is imbued with the Polish history and Polish spirit, in your opinion?
I would actually say it's more about projecting on Poland your expectations and, as you quoted, neurosis. For me, professionally, what is a big advantage of this film is how many Polish professionals were working on this film. It's not just the film was shot in Poland. The major department heads, like a cinematographer, Michał Dymek is Polish, and production designer, makeup artist, they are all Polish, costume designers. So it's actually an example of how Polish cinema and Polish talents can contribute to the global storytelling. And for me, that's the biggest advantage of this film, rather than if America is realizing their obsessions or not.
Yeah. And Michał Dymek also contributed as a cinematographer to The Girl with the Needle. Now is the time to say. It was very touching for me to listen to Magnus van Horn collecting his award in Gdynia, when he was kind of in a jokey way, but he was saying, you know, stop calling me Danish filmmaker. You know, I'm now, with my Polish passport, I'm a Pole. So do you feel that Łódź Film School spirit, is it present in The Girl with the Needle?
I think it's Magnus's spirit that it's present in his film, because I can proudly say that I've been following his career for years. I saw his student films, and then his first and second, and this is his third feature film. And I'm so proud of how consistent, hardworking he is, how he teams up with the same group of uber talented people, including also his producer, Mariusz Włodarski, based in Łódź. And for me, well, obviously, Łódź Film School spirit is generally understood as more artistic approach, you know, probably inspired a bit by Wojciech Haas cinema. That's sort of, like I said, more artistic way of working within cinema. But now I think it's more like who are you working with, what kind of books you read, and who you team up on international level, like I said, because as you mentioned, surely it's Danish, Swedish, Polish film, and we consider it also our own film in a way, yes.
And really, would you say, if we were just, you know, trying to play the odds, the fact that this is a black and white movie, and usually, you know, statistically, black and white movies, those that are very artistic, I can see sort of influences of German expressionism there, they do well at the Oscars. So will there be an Oscar for Magnus and his movie?
Well, my heart says yes, please, but I think that the odds are not in our favor this much, regardless of how great this film is and how talented the cast and crew is. I think we forget sometimes that there is a marketing sort of process, machine, or whatever you want to call it, the PR, and a lot of money needs to be invested so the members of the Academy who are voting, because this is not a jury, this is like a big group of people. It's like over 4,000 people vote for the best film, or I think also in this category, the best international film. They need to watch this film to be able to vote it. So you have to promote this film. You need to make sure that the Academy members actually watch this film.
Yeah. So, well, the odds are not great. However, on the other hand, the Brutalist, 10 nominations. Do you think a second Oscar for Adrian Brody? I mean, it is shot in Hungary. Brody himself's got Hungarian roots. And there is a big Holocaust anniversary this year. Do you think that would help the Brutalist?
Oh, that's interesting point of seeing the chances for winning. I would say it's more of a phenomena that already was showcased at the Venice Film Festival, and for years, traditionally, Venice Film Festival is the place where you get to watch the future Oscar winners. And I would say it's more of an advantage of boldness of Brady Corbett's vision, and the fact that film is, I think, runtime is 218 minutes. Yeah. So it's about bravery, and it's about, immersing audience in this world rather than what the story is on the plot level about. Obviously, the performances were allotted, and they were a lot of performances were nominated, actually, including, as you mentioned, Adrian Brody, who's a brilliant actor. And obviously, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but I would say it's more of a triumph of relentless artistic vision than anything else here.
But it does help that also it covers the architecture, and for one or other reason, architecture is really trending.
Yes, production designers will probably be voting for this film.
They will definitely do. And I thought it was incredibly cunning, because you've mentioned that machinery, that PR machinery for Adrian Brody to promote his film in London's Barbican, surrounded by Brutalist architecture. So we've got themes of basically dealing with tragedy, Holocaust. We also have this year a lot of movies with strong female leads, strong female stories, identity stories, transgender stories. Which one was your favourite out of that lot?
I would say something that could be considered controversial, because for me, the favorite story with a strong female lead is Flow, because, like I said, I consider the Kitty a female, and the way the cat is dealing with the crisis in a very unobvious animal form is something that I really loved. Obviously, Emilia Perez, that you were referring to.
Ola, I want to keep my fingers or my paws crossed for the kitty. I think, in this world, maybe we need more of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was Pulse of Culture, and I'm Karolina Shapland. Thank you for watching.